Okay, so we finished up to verse number 7 in chapter 3 from last class. We'll continue to finish maybe another 6 slokas by Krishna's grace today. And we are coming into a very interesting part of Gita in implementing Karma Yoga. So we had a beautiful outscripts of the what Karma Yoga consists of and the Marga which Krishna defined at the beginning, that the Karma Yoga, when Bhagavan says here, is a one big bucket in which all the traditionally known yogas are put into. But for Arjuna to, and for through Arjuna, for all of us to really start on the path of Karma Yoga, as Gita is what can I say, advising us and is directing us. Krishna started this Karma Yoga chapter. And this Karma Yoga chapter, the beauty lies as you would go in the slokas and their meaning. They form principles and practices and methodology. So Bhagavan does not give you like commandments. This is good, this is bad, this is must do, morning you must do this to your neighbor. Nothing. Krishna doesn't. There are shastras which are defining all those things. There are a lot of shastras in every religion, everything. But what Krishna wants to give here is giving you a methodology, a principle. So that is why it is very, very important in this Karma Yoga to understand the principle, the purpose. And the purpose is always moksha, Shreyas. And that's what Arjuna is also asking. I want that Shreyas Marga. So Krishna is really keeping the moksha as the perspective. Though in this Karma Yoga, because the methodology, because we are focusing on the left-hand side, as we said from last class, that involves a lot of prerequisites and requests. There are some requirements for practicing while practicing as well. That Krishna is not saying, no, you cannot. You need all those things. But Krishna wants to do it with a purpose completely in focus. Not wanting to get strayed away somewhere, that we have to be being born again and again and again, and then go in this cycle of sukha dukkha. He wants us to get slowly released out of it. So that is the beauty of the principle as we will go in through this. From this particular one, this particular verse today, we will see. Okay, so who wants to chant after me? Sumatiji, you want to chant? I'll ask you to unmute.
Yes.
Okay. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Karmajyahyo hyakarmanaha.
Karmajyayo karmanaha. Tvam karmajyayo karmanaha.
Okay, hyakarmanaha, that's fine. Sharira yatra pichate.
Sharira yatra pichate. Sharira yatra pichate.
Na prasiddhyeda karmanaha.
Na prasiddhyeda karmanaha. Na prasiddhyeda karmanaha.
Okay. So, as we are going through the pada.
Sorry to disturb. We have done up to 6 only, right?
No, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. Sorry, then we'll do 7. Sorry, thanks for reminding, Shubha. Okay, so we'll do from 7. No problem. We have chanted that. So, in 7, what in the previous 6, Bhagavan say about Mithyachara, which is a hypocritical kind of a thing, which is cheating himself, and he was doing. Then Bhagavan did the prashamsa or the greatness of a true karma yogi. So he has given a true karma yogi. That karma yogi, tu, that was the tu is a but. The but is now referring to a true karma yogi in the verse 7. So he says, tu, not the hypocritic one, the one that is properly doing what he is doing, tu, number 2, hey Arjuna, number 3, yaha. This yaha is a true karma yogi. Yaha, manasa, in his mental faculty, manasa, indriyani, number 5 and 6, niyam, yeah. All the, in his mind means, the mental is also one of the organ. So karmendriyani, and also the jnanendriyani, the 5 plus 5, 10. So all those faculties are now completely sublimed into his mental focus of doing this karma yoga for moksha lakshana. So that he has put that big mentor in that verse 7. So what he has got it, he has got all his senses, faculties completely focused in the mind, not for a mental imagination to something but moksha. How do we know that? Look at that number 7, asaktaha. So he asaktaha, he is now not attached to anything outside. His goal is all internal. Nothing for anything external. No vishaya sukham, no vishaya dukkham, nothing. Asaktaha, not attached also to his own body. Also, that is very important, to his senses, to his own mind, which is often taking him away on different reminiscence of his past experience. Asaktaha, karmendriyaihi, with that karma, but he doesn't just shun himself and remain there. That's what Krishna wants to say. But everything is completely sublimed into that. But what is his actions doing? Karmendriyaihi karma yogam visishyate. But he is engaged in actions. He's just not shun away and gone into forest. So that's what Krishna wanted to say. Look, a karma yogi, true karma yogi, has got all his complete detachment, even including on himself, and that has been removed from the mind, asaktaha, but he's engaged in action. And he's engaged in action could be of any action in this world, worldly action. That is visishyate. That is what is the Shreyas Marga. Okay, so for that Shreyas Marga, for us to do, because he has now given a beautiful description, but the whole problem comes from there is the detachment. We sometimes do not know whether we are attached or detached, or maybe 50% attached, sometimes 70% attached. So, we are tossed because we also do not know. There is nothing like a dipstick we can put inside and say whether attachment is there or not, you see. So Krishna wants to give a simple stipulation of practice. So Arjuna knows this, and so Krishna is telling him, see Arjuna, because this is now to Arjuna, because now Arjuna needs to act. So he says, number 2, 3, and 4. Tvam niyatam karma kuru. Now direct action has come. Direct command has come. Command in the sense, and that also what is saying, that's a literal meaning, tvam niyatam karma kuru, tvam stipulated actions thou shalt do. But then stipulated action, where stipulated, how stipulated, how is it for me, how is it applicable? It's a broad statement, right? So that we have to understand. So the Shastras very clearly says that niyatam itself, Shankara very beautifully defines that. What he says, nityam shastropadishtam, meaning to say that which has been very well defined in the Shastras. Again, which Shastra, where to go do for it? That is also becomes a bit of a thing. So in the Shastra, so I'm going to probably go line by line. So it is 9. So one is niyatam, tvam niyatam karma ko. That's one statement in this. So this niyatam karma, so in the Shastram, from a broad cycle, when it was defined, it is defined as a 4 category. Number 1, nitya karma. Nitya karma means, nitya normally means daily. But you should not just take it as a 24 hours daily periodical. It's a periodic karma. So niyatam could also be a yearly karma. For example, Shivaratri mein, you are doing it something for Shiva, and that when is thought from Ishvara, that is also niyata, that's also nitya karma. So you may wonder how nitya karma is once in a year. Nitya does not really means aharnisham, that in a 24-hour cycle. Nityam means it is a periodical, time-bound actions. In our methodology principle, time-bound actions or time-bound duties. Time-bound duties are there for everybody. The minute we are born, duty started, and there is a time clock kicking. That time which ticks, which also, but it varies from the age as we go, and the duties go. That is why our Sanatana Dharma is duty born, duty bound, and with a duty ending. And that one, the time cycle, that which varies by monthly, or daily, fortnightly, once in 3 months, like Uttarayanam, Punyakalam, all those things that are monthly, so many of them. So there are masa, every month there is something. So they are all Nitya Karma. Okay, so one is time bound karmas, or one is called Nitya Karma. Second one is called Naim, that is not here in the verses, but you can take the notes, and probably you're also getting the recording. Next one is called Naimitya Karma. Naimitya Karma means incident or event born duties. An incident happens in all our life, which is the greatest thing called marriage. And that is properly done with the Shastras, it's a Nimitta Karma. Or you have grown as an adult boy, and then your mother does, or your parent does an Upanayanam, or, we have got 40 Nimitta Karma defined, incident. And Sarah, the Nimitta Karma for us is done. Sometimes the Nimitta Karma for you is not done by you, somebody else do it. When you are in the fetus in your mother's womb, that Simanta Karma is a Nitya Karma done by your parents. And then your parents have passed away, you are doing something that is also Nimitta Karma. Because that Titi, that incident, your father has passed away. See, there are two things here. When your father or mother passed away, then you are doing it, that's a Nimitta Karma. Then afterwards, every yearly you are doing, that's a Nitya Karma. So you see how the Naimitya Karma, Nitya Karma are so totally bound together in our Shastra, very beautifully defined. And again, because I'm taking in a whole perspective, so this one word has got so much of depth in that. In the chapter number 16, at the last verse, Bhagavan will say, karma, akarma, what is to be done, what is not to be done, Shastram te pramanam. Karya vyavastito. What is to be a karyam, what is akaryam is Shastram te pramanam. There also, because it's good to bring that into this context, there also Arjuna asked, I've not read all the Shastram. Yes, Shastram has got so much. I might have missed it, so what do I do, Arjuna? But my Shraddha is very much there. So, mera Shraddha, aap kya Satvik bolega, Rajas bolega, kya bolega? So Krishna says, Krishna is very clear. Is the number, and beautiful. The other day, I was listening to Jai Shankar, our foreign affairs minister. He says the world's topmost #1 diplomat is Krishna. Nobody can beat him. He clearly said, he says, I'm not going to say how much you have read or how much you have not read. It depends upon your samskara. If you are born with, he says, everybody is born with a mixture of sattvic, rajas, and tamas. Agar tumhara mind and buddhi and everything sattvic, then your sattvic shraddha, you'll do sattvic karma. So, he very clearly puts it, again, principle bound answer. Okay, so same thing we bring it here. How much I know about Shastram, how much I do not know about Shastram, but it is that Shraddha, Bhakti, and again the next verse Bhagavan will come for that as well. But it is for us to know that this Niyata Karma, when somebody will say, you'll see very beautifully in lot of our Yagna, oh yeah, Niyata Karma. Meaning it's stipulated, they will never bypass something, But sometimes some argument also happened that time. No. It used to be facing, something is there. But the main thing is time bound, incident bound, and next is a Kamya Karma. Kamya Karma means that which is a morally and legally desirable action, for which you do special ones. A village may do completely together for getting more rain, or there is a drought, paddies are not growing, or sudden plague has come, and also, or one may do for oneself to get putra kameshti yagam, or, somebody is very, very badly sick and you want to do something for the nivarti, something. These are all kamya karma, and these are all morally, legally right. There is nothing wrong in that. Because Bhagavan is called Sharira Yatra, because you need to Jiva Yatra is there. So Bhagavan is not saying this is not, it's a legal desire, because it has come as a, something has come. Maybe he has not had a children, that's why Dasharatha had to do, that's why Rama has to be born. So that is a Kamya Karma. That is very simple. Then fourth one is Nishiddha karma. That is forbidden actions. Forbidden actions are for we to know so that we don't go into that one. Because they are mostly driven by kama, krodha, lobha. So Trividam Narakam, that we will say that one. So these are the four which is included in the Niyata karma. So Niyatam karma kuru. And 5, 6, 7. Here karmana means he akarmanaha. He akarmana becomes yakarmanaha. He means indeed. So indeed, akarmanaha. Akarmanaha means what here? Not doing any actions, just remaining and dropping your bow and arrow on this chariot and remaining like you, Arjuna. Akarmanaha, karma jayaha. Karma means in comparison to karma, this is jayaha, this is more shreshtam, or this is more much better. Because this is a direct answer to Arjuna. Because jayasi karma chet karmanaste mata buddhim janardana, he said. He said, but I understood that your jnanam is greater than karma, but you are telling me to sue. So now he has given him, no, by you not doing actions, action is better. Okay. And so that's what Bhagavan is trying to say. So indeed, Arjuna was right. For jnana is shreya, no doubt about it. But you are not there. You are in an inactive mode. So you first come to an active mode, then you talk about the other mode. Jnana yoga or that sannyasa yoga. You understand? So this particular statement answers Krishna's question to the context of Krishna's, answers Arjuna's question in the context of Arjuna's being. So Krishna's answer is very specific to the context of the questioner, which is for most of us. That is the reason I was saying. So akarmanaha karma jaya hai. Because you have not dropped it. So that's what Krishna says. And the armanaha, and what he says is number 9 cha, and number 10 prasiddhyet akarmanaha number 10 te of you for you te sharira yatra, sorry, 11 and 11.5, maybe I should have put akarmanaha te sharira yatra api na prasidhyat, na prasidhyet. 13, 14, na prasidhyet. That should be 11. Te sharira yatra. So 11 should be like probably 10.5. The 11 here, Dante should be 10.5. So akarmanaha. So what is Bhagavan saying? Akarmanaha te sharira yatra api na prasidhyet. So what he says is, by not doing action, even your daily livelihood is not going to be possible. Now, one may think, yeah, this is not a big statement, Krishna. This, anybody knows, I have to take my hand and eat, or I have to do something. So what Bhagavan is saying, even your gross body cannot survive without you remaining like this. How long are you going to remain? So that's fairly said. But what is the embedded meaning? What Krishna wanted to say here is, by not doing any action, so in the implied action is, by doing actions, we can directly see the results in our gross body. Meaning to say, I'm doing daily some exercise with some yoga or walking or, something that I've regulated. Yes, I can see my tummy goes down. I'm feeling energetic, or I'm doing some swimming and, all those things. Or you are eating well and, you have regulated, you can see gross body. But Krishna wants to say, similarly, the right actions you do, it also makes your mental faculty and your intellectual faculty in a proper directions for moksha. So the karma, the action, the way you do these actions is what really is going to take your mind and other faculties too, not the physical body. Though the implied meaning is from the other way around. Though he says even your physical body cannot survive without doing actions, what he says is, yeah, by doing actions, then it's not only a physical body, your subtle bodies, everything also gets refined. for that moksha marga, for the jiva yatra, for that one. And yeah, okay. So that, okay, let's go to the next one. Prasiddhayet. Sorry. Oh, siddhi means something that's accomplished. Prakrishena siddhi, meaning to say, even your accomplishment of this life, I mean, your journey of this physical body is not going to be possible without remaining actionless. Even to carry your body along to the last breath, you need to be doing actions. Then what about your mental faculties? And that's what he's asking. Hey, even for carrying your physical body up to the last breath, you need to be doing actions. You just can't remain like that. But what about then your subtle body faculty and other ones? They need a lot more. So that means with that action, your inner body becomes pure. Purity happens. Physical body becomes healthy, arogyam. But what happened to the mental and the intellect? They become shuddhi. That's what Karma wants to say. So if I want that fruit of my inner faculty, which is the real aim for moksha, how to do the action? The next verse comes. Thanks for leading me to that one. Okay. So, Sri Vidya, can you chant after me? Okay. Yajnartat karmanon yatra.
Yajnarthat karmanonyatra. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra.
Lokoyam karma bandhanaha.
Lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Lokoyam karma bandhanaha.
Tadartham karma kaunteya.
Tadartham karma kaunteya. Tadartham karma kaunteya.
Mukta sangas samachara.
Mukta sangas samachara. Mukta sangas samachara.
Okay. So the main thing is Bhagavan's always is defining about attachments and to be detached and distractions. So Bhagavan very clearly says how to do that actions. He says, Arjuna, yajna arthat, for the purpose of the yajna, karmanaha, yajna arthat karmanaha. The karmana of the karmana or in relation to the karmana. This is a Panchama Vyakti. This karmana here is Panchama Vyakti. That is Yajnartat karmana. Number 3, Anyatra means Anyatra karma. Ayam lokaha karma bandhanaha. So what Bhagavan says, this is unless action is performed for the purpose of yajna, all other actions done, performed, or attached, or bound, or are going to bind you to repeated birth and cycle, or to bind you to papa and punya. So what is this purpose of yajna? That I have to understand. So if my actions are, so there are 3 things here. There are 3 words remaining: karma, yajna, and yoga. So the yajna, if I understand, it will give me karma yoga 3 beautifully. Otherwise, imagine karma, yajna, yoga. So if I do an action without this purpose of what I understand in this yajna, purpose of yajna, so karma yajna becomes karma yoga. Put it that way. So here yajna, what Shankara defines it as Ishvaraha, Mahavishnu, Yagyam vai Vishnu. He literally says Yagyam vai Vishnu. Okay, so for the purpose of actions done for Ishvara becomes a karma yajna, and that when done properly with the proper vishwasam becomes a yoga, because that yoga then leads me to the moksha or a jnani. So what Bhagavan wants to say here is, so when we say yajna arpanam or Ishvara arpanam karma kuru, that's what Bhagavan says here. Ishvara arpanam karma kuru. But then again we go a little bit more into that to say that how do I then do this yajna arpanam or this Ishvara arpanam? That again. So what here again beautifully Krishna binds the bhakti yoga in this one. So the initially he defines, and there are some different stages which the aspirant goes through for a karma yajna. Because in a yajna, normally what we do, yajna means, do not think about that yajna that we normally do once in a year, or something in a, that's not the yajna. Everything is yajna. For example, we are going to office and then working with the purpose of this is not for me, that's also yajna. So that's the context of this. Everything, every action performed with that selfishness goal, but only for moksha prapti with the Ishvara, Vishwararpanam is a karma yajna. And as per doing in that part and parcel, if I need to have my jiva requirements be done, so be it. That's no problem. That's not Krishna saying that's not an yajna. We can't do like that. And the subsequent slokas will tell you how you be part of that ecosystem by which Krishna is not wanting us to break away from. Because we are part of the ecosystem, not only internally and also of the externally, and we have duties that is bound to our environment, our family, our neighbors, everybody. So Krishna understands all those things. But that which is done, and that's where the bhakti, that's what we were saying, karma yoga cannot come without the bhakti. And that bhakti happens with that Krishna being so close to every action. What this person sees is, he sees Krishna or that Ishvara and the actions itself. And probably first he, has that one, like, for example, he has Hanumanji or his Shivaji photo whenever he is working and on other thing. But then it is just not like that only. But he sees that Bhagavan in the actions he performs. And the results from the actions as well. Because that is the main thing. Because we can do that, when the results come, be or good or bad, that's when the Ishvara is forgotten or Ishvara is not done. Ishvara is not remembered. But this person, while performing the action, and when the results that comes, one who sees that Bhagavan in his interaction is a true karma yogi. That's what Bhagavan wants to say here. And anyatra, meaning that which is apart from this, anyatra, I am lokaha, if that is done, karma bandhanaha, then that attaches you to the action. But by you cognizing that Bhagavan in that place, in that action, in your hands or in your mouth or in your, because that is the only faculty we do, in your eyes, in our ears, as we do, Krishna, I am doing this as I'm seeing you in this. So I will not do anything wrong, or I will do this as per what you say. Then there is no attachment to that one. Because we wanted to see that before. Anything other actions, when done without that one, without in that mental cognition of Ishvara in that, will have to bind you. That's what he says. Anyatra ayam lokaha karma bandhanaha. That will certainly bind us, and which will then fetch what? Papam and punyam. See, punyam is also part of it, but what Krishna wants to do is get out of this accumulation of punya as well. Karma bandhanaha. And then number 7, hey Kaunteya, number 8, Mukta Sangaha. By this of being a Yagyartat Karmana, by that you being a Mukta Sangaha, by that you are now being totally freed of any attachments while doing the action. Tad Artham Karma Samachara. Mukta Sangaha, Tad Artham. Tad Artham means Yagyartham, that Ishwarartham. Tadartham means Ishwarartham. Ishwarartham, karma, samachara, some achara, that you shall perform your actions. So basically, Krishna is saying very simple in this, try to see the Lord in all the actions you do. It could be anything. We are doing gardening, or you're doing for anything in the morning, go for a grocery shop, or go for shopping, or whatever we do. We can take a train, go to work, come back. In all these things, try to see the God in every place, in every actions you do, in the transactions you perform. You will be a true karma yogi. That's one of the main message he wants to say, without any sankalpa. And Krishna says further, Krishna Kumarji, do you want to chant after me if you don't mind? Please.
Sure.
Okay. Saha yajna praja srishtva.
Sajayagya praja srishtva.
Once more, ji.
Sahayagya praja srishtva.
Purovacha prajapatihi.
Purovaja prajapatihi. Purovaja prajapatihi.
Anena prasavishyadvam.
Anena prashavish
Yadvam.
yadvam.
Once more.
Anena prashavit yadvam.
Prasavishyadvam.
Prasavish yadvam.
Very good. Yeshavostvishta kama dukha.
Yesha voshtvishta kama dukha.
It's a bit of a tongue twister.
Sorry.
Yeshavostvishta kama dukha.
Yesha voshtvishta kama dukha.
Very good. Okay. So now Krishna says, look, this ecosystem, as we were talked before, a little bit before, he says, look, the whole creation performs like this. The whole order is part of it. Though we are part and parcel of it, he says, the whole world is just nothing but a cycle of karma yogis. That's what Krishna wants to him. And he said, the whole creation, when I did this creation as a karma yogi. The whole creation I did as a karma yogi, and the whole end also will be done as a karma yogi. And you are part of this parcel of this whole creation. You also do as a karma yogi. That is a simple message he's trying to give in here. How he is saying that? He's saying purovacha, pura uvacha, purovacha. Pura means in that Purana has come in the beginning. Pura here means not just before, long before. It before that about 4.32 billions ago. Because now the Chaturmukha Brahma is in the second half. And also scientists now say the galaxy is about 4.3 billion years. 4.32 billion human years. So before this 4.32 billion years, Pura, that means time scale, Pura, Prajapatihi. Prajapatihi here means Chaturmukha Brahma, who came from the Krishna's Mahavishnu's Nabi, Padmanabha. So he is the Chaturmukha Brahma, who was the first person, who is also an Amsham of Mahavishnu. Prajapatihi. Saha yajnaha srishtva. Meaning to say, yajna saha becomes yajna saha. Meaning to say that creation of Brahmaji itself is a yajna, and the Brahma also started creating the whole world with a yajna. Yajna means with that ecosystem of the whole chain cycle. Saha yajna, what did he do? Praja srishtva. This creation of everything living, not living, everything, mountains, everything. Praja we can use everything. Srishtva, because it's part of the Srishti. Srishtva, having done the creation. Srishtva, uvacha, number 3. He said this. He also said this one particular teaching to everybody. What did he say, uvacha? Anena. Anena means what here? Anena means with this what? With this yajna. He told every creation, that the people in the creation, all of you, with this yajna, with what I created, which I am giving you, which are nothing but the Vedas. Because that's what he gave through all the Saptarishis, first thing, Vedas. So that, and it will come again in the later, how the Vedas, how they define the karma. So anena yajnena, anena vedaihi, anena yesha prasavishyadvam, anena yajnena prasavishyadvam. Prasavishyadvam means prasavam itself means to give birth, right? Visheshana prasavishyadvam, meaning to say the prasavishyadvam is actually a lot for people in Sanskrit. Prasavishyadvam is lot, actually, which is a Atmanepadi. So it comes like prasavoshyasva, prasavoshyasva, prasavoshyeta, prasavoshyadvam. Lot, Madhyama Purushaha, Bahuvachanam. Prasavishyod, prasa means Visheshana prasavishyadvam, meaning to say, you should also now do my procreation with this yajna. So meaning to say, thou shalt propagate more wealth, more children, more dhanyam, more dhanam, everything. Please propagate with the same yajnam. So that's what Krishna says here. So that was the thing he said. How I have done this creation with the yajna model, you should also do. That's what he gave the teaching, that take that as my pattern or the role model. And with that one, you should also apply the cookie template and do all the procreation. Prasavishyadvam. Prasavishyadvam. This is the only thing. Anena prasavishyadvam. All of you. So that's a command. Prasavishyadvam is a command. Prasavishyadvam. Yesha. Yesha means what? Again, Yesha, this your yajna. Yesha. Vaha is you, to you. Okay, that's actually asma yushmakam, that is to you. Okay, yesha vaha kamaduk astu. So the vastishtatam is vaha astu astu ishta kamaduk. Astvishta kamaduk is astu ishta kamaduk. So what he's trying to say is, with that one to you, ishta kamaduk, whatever you want to morally think and morally acquire, kamaduk, whatever you want to do, astu, let it happen. Meaning to say, because you have been born, so you need to enjoy or have a happiness. Your enjoy means to have a happiness. With that yajna, let that happiness be born to you in manifold. So what Krishna is also saying is, if that has been done with this yajna bhava, happiness automatically comes also while engaging in actions. There is no need to really worry about it. That's what Krishna's want to say, that one here. Then next one. How we should do so? Ganapati Ramji, can you please chant after me, sir? I'll unmute you, please. Can you? Ganapati Ramji, can you unmute and say?
Yes, I can tell.
Thank you, ji. Devan bhavayatanena.
Devan bhavayatanena. Devan bhavayatanena.
Te deva bhavayantu vaham.
Te deva bhavayantu vaha. Te deva bhavayantu vaha.
Parasparam bhavayantaha.
Parasparam bhavayantaha. Parasparam bhavayantaha.
Shreyah paramavapsyata.
Shreyas paramapapyasada. Shreya paramavapyasada.
Vapsyata.
Vapsyada.
Vapsyata. Shreyaha avapsyata becomes Shreyaha Shreya vapsyata.
Shreya paramapsyataha.
Vapsyata, there is no visarga, just vapsyata. Lot, that's also lot. Avapsyata, lot. No problem, sir. So beautiful these verses. The ecosystem. We think this is the thing, So what Krishna says is, because the creation is just not only the human beings and what we see in this earth. Krishna is addressing the whole cosmos here. There are so many other lokas. There are maybe some being living in Saturn, some beings living in sun even. We do not know. There are some different celestial beings there. We may call avatar or aliens, whatever, but he's addressing all of them together here, Krishna. So what he's saying here, anena means what? With this yajna only, anena devan bhavayata. Bhavayatam bhavaya. So this is also bahuvachanam. Everything is in bahuvachanam, madhyama purusha. Bhavayata. So he says, anena devan bhavayata. So this is one thing he's saying. What he's saying to the human, because the karma, what he's defining here is for only the human beings in earth, in karma yoga. But he is also addressing for us when we are doing this, we are having an ecosystem perspective of everything in this creation. That is why he started in the previous verse of Brahmaji's creation. So he is saying, Anena Yagyena Devan Bhavayata. So Devan Bhavayata means, what is that one? Here what he's saying is, those devas which are there who are controlling this whole cosmic system, Bhavayata, you shall nourish them. You shall nourish them by doing this action, Niyata Karma. Say, for example, I forgot to tell you, this is from Shankara Bhashyam, beautiful. One rule he said, it is my duty or not. What Shankara says, you can take 100% it is a duty when you don't see a fruit for yourself in that action. Direct fruit is not perceivable for you, that is your duty. But often what we think is, if I see a direct fruit for me, it is my duty. Agar mere ko kuch nahi lena dena hai, isse main karna hai kya? But actually Bhagavan in that Shankara says, if you read, you have a free will to do an action. And you think you are qualified to do an action. But in that action, if you think that there is absolutely nothing for you, you are going to get, he says, that is your duty. Beautifully, he says, and that is a duty will give you for moksha, he says. For example, let us take Sandhya Vandanam. You know, people who have got the Upavitam, when they do Sandhya Vandanam, the first thing when they tell you Sandhya Vandanam is, they say, look, when you do Sandhya Vandanam, if you don't do, you get papa. So, but if I do, you don't get any punya. So it's zero punya. But if you don't do, you get papa. Because in that one, he nourishes the Surya Bhagavan and Varuna Bhagavan morning and evening, so that the whole world would nourish. And that is your duty. It is not your privilege. It is your duty that you have to do for others. And that becomes a marga for Shreyas. Because what a beautiful thing, because you don't get any punya. Fantastic. But if you don't do, but that becomes a duty. So that's what is also said here. Anena Yagyena Devan Bhavayata means these devas like Surya Bhagavan, in the morning, if you see in those days, Sanatana Dharma, everybody, when they were going for the river bath, when they were in the river, first thing they take a few water and they offer for the Surya Bhagavan. That, I believe, nourishes the Surya Bhagavan that much. But we may think that what is this few drop? Where is this sun Bhagavan? But it is not just that Surya Mandalam that we think as Surya Bhagavan. It is a Deva, Surya Deva. For them, this little bit of water we offer by looking at the sun in the morning and evening goes a long way. Or even in our Pitru Karma, what do? We only just offer water. Very cheap. Very little cost, very little time. But that gives you a lot of benefit for the whole world. And that is a duty. So this is similar to that one. Anena Devan Bhavayata, Narishtam. And also, and then what happened? Te Devaha, number 4 and 5. Those Devas, Vaha Bhavayantu, let them also nourish you back. The beauty there is the devas actually in the celestial world, the devas are nothing but a super elated karma yogis. A sun will shine to you irrespective whether you offer water or not, whatever you do to the sun. There could be somebody who can say, "Sun, you are a stupid," or there is no sun god. It is only a planet with lot of heat and light and everything. There's nothing. People saying, living all this, you bloody Sanatana Dharma, you are doing water, you full. Let them say. But the Bhagavan, Surya Bhagavan, Varuna Bhagavan, they pour the rain in time. They give you this one irrespective of getting anything, because they are the utmost karma yogis. But what Krishna says here, by you offering, Te Deva Bhavayantu, they will always nourish you back. They will always nourish you back. Te Devaha Vaha Bhavayantu. I mean, these are all Brahma was saying. Okay, the Brahma Uvacha only all these things. So this is all Deva Brahma's Uvacha from there. So Vaha means again to you all. Bhavayantu, Devaha Bhavayantu. And then number 8, Parasparam Bhavayantaha. Meaning to say, paraspara means mutual benefit. In the mutual nourishment of you both, mean to say the higher celestial beings of this ecosystem, and you also being bhavayantaha, shreyaha param avapsyata. By that, you shall get your moksha, shreyaha. So, karma jyayaha, he said, for the karma jyayaha, which he said in that verse number 9, right? No, number 8. Now, how that karma gives a shreyaha? By you doing this according to the ecosystem. Shreyaha. Shreya here means mokshaha. By that, by you doing this, by this ecosystem of balancing yourself with the rest of the whole world, that is the way that you will get your karma yogi as a true karma yogi. What a beautiful thing here, isn't it? Nothing is talked about your family, your house, or nothing is talked about neighbor, but it is come into beautiful cosmic perspective to the ecological system and how that is being, and that is the true karma yoga, Bhagavan says. That's why these portion of the ones are beautiful. And what happens here, how it Shreya Paramapsa means, your chitta shuddhi happens. The mind becomes very clear for perceiving this jnanam, akantakaram. The Brahma jnanam automatically shines forth. And as he reads in the Upanishads and everything, he gets that jnanam of that, and that God within himself very easily. That is how he gets that jnana prapti dwara, he gets that shreya. And then also he, again, let me go number 12. Probably. Lakshmi ji, if you want to chant after me, please. Thank you. Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha.
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha. Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha.
Beautiful. Dasyante yajna bhavitaha.
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha. Dasyante yajna bhavitaha.
Tairdattana pradayayabhyaham.
Tairdattana pradan yebhyaha.
Beautiful.
Tairdattana pradan yebhyaha.
Very good. Yo bhunkte stena yevasaha.
Yo bhunkte stena yevasaha. Yo bhunkte stena yevasaha.
Thank you, ji. Very nice. Very well chanted. Thank you. So you see here also people who are for the Sanskrit grammar. You see, Deva, I did a visarga. The visarga lopa happens because the va is a akaram. After that, there is a soft consonant da comes, so becomes visarga lopa. Otherwise, there is a deva, and yeah, even in chapter 1, ayane ishusas are veshu yata bhagama. There also he said that visarga lopa, you would have noticed. Here also is a visarga lopa because there is a akaram here, dirgha, and then there is a soft consonant. Okay. Now, what he says, again, that parasparam bhavayantaha is very important. Very, very, one of the beauty thing you will not find in many scriptures. So, what he says, yajna bhavitaha. Who? The Devaha. Yajna Bhavita is an adjective for the Devaha. The Devaha, who have now nourished from that Yajna. So you see, the Karma Yoga is all lit to this Yajna. That Yajna in the center is Ishvara. Again, I'm saying this. So that Yajna Bhavitaha, the higher celestial beings who are running this, governing this whole world is governed by some order. It is just not functioning as people think by some artificial intelligence or some other intelligence. Nothing. There is no AML. This is much superior intelligence. This is SI. This is SI intelligence, superior intelligence. So that is still governing. And that Yajna Bhavitaha, Devaha, those beings, what do they do? Wo is actually Vaha, to you, Asmakam. Yushmakam. For you people, Yajna Bhogan, Ishta Bhogan, whatever you wanted. I wanted more rains, more this thing. And that's what, see, for example, you see now, sometimes you can see it now. For example, we really pity the state of Pakistan now. You see, when they were so much devoid of every balance, then you should have the big flood, which has finished off 1/3 of the country, and people have nothing to eat. And then you find last 2 years ago, no, 2 days ago, a big bomb blast, that also in a masjid. And then 120 people died. Then you again that calamity. Then you see, the thing is, nature sometimes, okay, that is man-made thing, but certain things also happen. Nobody has any answer to that. But if properly done by this action, here we get in Australia that rain comes in time. When there's a 3 hot days, then there is some rain coming. There are some good karma happening here. You cannot deny that. You know, they may not be going to temple and doing, but there are good people doing good karma happening here. You see, so there is nobody going with a gun inside the house for security. No, people are being very and there is some benefit coming to that part of the world. There is no refusal in that one ecosystem. That one, as you can see. Anyway, that's a different thing. We may not get answers for all the calamities and all the events. So, let's leave it at that. But having said that, this verse says, Devaha, that Yagya Bhavitaha Devaha, the ones that who have taken that one, they Devaha, Ishtabhogan hi dasyante. Ishtabhogan, they really, whatever you want accordingly, dasyante. These are Satya Vachanam, that they do certainly give you. Dasyante, meaning to say, those devas, literally, they do give you that one by which you have given to nourish them. They will certainly nourish you. But again, he says, Taihi means what here? With that, Taihi Dattan. So you take 871. Taihi Dattan, with that fruits, what the devas have given to you, Dattan, to everybody, Dattan, the people. Taihi Dattan, the Taihi Dattan, the people who have now received this provided to you by devas. Yebyaha means what here? To those devas back. Yebyaha. To those devas back. Yebyaha. Aprasadaya. So Tair Dattan, the na is there, no? There is a there. In plus a is na. Tair Dattan apradayai. Apradaya yebyaha. Yebyaha apradaya. Yebyaha apradaya. To the devas who has not given it back. Aprada. Pradaya means having given. Apradaya, not having given. Lep, that Sanskrit. So apradaya, not having given that one. Apradaya. What did they do? Yo, that one who was the consumers. Yo, yaha, ya consumer, yaha, bumte. He just eats that. It is all taken for granted. Not to worry. Everything is, world is all fine for me to consume and consume and consume. That I will just consume at large. Who are you? There is no sun god. There is no rain god. They come and go, but I can control the cloud and it is all my thing. You don't teach me. I am better than. So that kind of a yo bungte, Krishna says, Saha stena eva. Stena means he's a thief. He's a total thief. He says, and he's telling Sahastena Eva. Eva Kara means it is Aprita. He is a Areva Stena, yeah, 100%. Eva Kara makes it 100%. So he says, this person who does not even care a hoot and consumes at will whatever given in this world and without even looking into the ecosystem is 100% thief, and that he will have to pay more and more. That is in a way indebted. So that is why in our culture, even that beautiful, it is there in Taittiriya Upanishad. For defining Annam, it's very clearly said, Annam, a person who eat a food, thinking it is my food, he will become a food. He becomes a food. It literally says like that. Adyate iti cha bhutani tasmadannam taduchyata iti. Adyate chita bhutani tasmadannam taduchyata iti. That why it is uchyate annam means that one fellow who is in Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmananda, the second valley, it comes annam. Adyate chita bhutani. That one who eats that this food is what is for me to consume, he becomes a food himself. Unless that's what, but the food we eat as a prasadam, having been done to this Pitru, Rishi, all see, because every day we do this Brahma Yagyam. Brahma Yagyam is done for the sake of 5 people that we are indebted to. I think I've said in the previous class as well, right? First is Devarini, then Rishirini, then Pitrurini, then Bhutarini. So the first is the Devarini. The Devas we are indebted to. And what does he do for that one? He does not offer just a bit of a water. Little bit of a water. That's all. They want then Deva Ganaha, Deva Patni, Deva Pitru Ganapatni. They'll have a little bit of water. Then Krishna Dvaipana, Rishi, for the Rishi, he offers some water, Rishi Patni, and then Rishi is, the Rishi has got lots of his, we do everything. Water for the Rishi's clan. Then the clan's wife, for them also we offer water. Then Pitru also we offer for the Pitru for their, because it's a loka, it's only a transit launch. Our forefathers are born and I may be one of the forefathers for somebody who's giving me water next door, who knows? Never mind. But it's a transit launch. The transit launch in there, the Pitruloka is a transit launch, it's kept functioning all the time. People are gone, people are gone. But people are offering water, the transit launch, people are all beautiful because of the water you offer there. Because there are always people dying, people dying. So that launch is functioning by this water you are giving. That's a Pitrurini. So next time we go to the transit launch, we'll get some good one. Otherwise, bukka marna padega. So, so Rishi Darpanam. Then Bhutarani. All these ones, they are doing, the worms are going in the garden so that, the cucumber that you put grows very well. Because they do not know, but they are going and harvesting the soil. We are indebted to those worms even, isn't it? They are doing so much good for all of us without doing anything. So Bhutarani is also there. So all these one we are indebted. That's why, in our Indian system, all of us before, when they cook the food, they do some Naivedyam to Bhagavan, they go out, they put it to crow. And the crows, they all know the time morning. Everybody, they go, they have a crow or sometime to some birds, they feed, then they have the first food. So, that ecosystem has been there in our culture, so much indebted by everybody in the fashion that they were doing. So that I'm just bringing all that into the context of this particular shloka. We'll finish this last one and we'll finish, okay? Who can chant after me? Have I missed anyone? Maithiliji, you can chant after me. I've missed you. Maithiliji? Okay. Yagyasishthashina santaha. We can't hear you, Ji.
Bhavati, I will do it. I think
Okay,
she's not here.
Okay.
Yagyasishthashina santaha.
Once more, sir.
Yagyasishthashina santaha.
Muchante sarvakil bishaihi.
Muchyante sarvagilbishaihi. Muchyante sarvagilbishaihi.
Bunchate te twagam papaha.
Bunchate te twaham papaha.
Twagam.
Bunchate te twaham papaha.
Not twaham, twagam. Agam. Agam means papam.
Twaham, yeah.
Agam. Bunchate te twagam papaha.
Bunchate te twagam papaha. Bunchate te twaham papaha.
Ye pachantyatma karanat.
Ye pachantyatma karanat. Ye pachantyatma karanat.
Okay. So here again, people who are the Sanskrit learners, again you see same thing like devaha, papaha, akaraha. Then there is a soft consonant, so the visarga lopaha. Okay, visarga lopaha. Sorry. Okay. So now yagya sishtashinaha. Shishtam means itself is a balance, remnants, or something that is left. Yagya means what? After he having seen this God in this action, of this offering or any action. You have come 9 to 5, even that is an action. We have gone done some work today, and that meeting, whatever we did, we come by. I really did it for Krishna, and then I'm coming back. That afterward, Yajna Sishtaha, after that, Ashinaha. Ashina, actually, Yajna Sishta Ashina means one who is now consuming. Yajna Sishta Ashinaha. That one who is now eating after having done the offering to the Lord of his action, because there are some fruits that is going to come. The fruits are indirect. I do my work, my bank balance is going to go up. So, that's a fruit, indirect fruit. But then that which have done this with the pure awareness of Krishna in that action, or the Ishvara in this action, Ashinaha, meaning to say of that Ashinaha, the one that is now consuming that, he is a Santaha, he is a Santa. He is a true Sant. He is the one who is a Sattvic person. And that Sattvic person, Sarva Kilbishaihi Muchante. Sarva Kilbishaihi means, Kilbisha means dosham, meaning any flaws, Muchantehi, because Krishna, Muchante means he is freed of from. Freed of from means every action, what Krishna says, he will tell you in chapter 18. Krishna says, when I created this universe, in every action, I did plant a flaw or a fault. There is no faultless action or a flawless action. Every action, and also we'll say dume, everything is sagajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi natyajet sarvarambahi doshena dhumenakniribhavrita. So how there is a fire, always there is a smoke. Similarly, every action has got some fault lines. So do not worry about it. Nobody can be 100% perfectionist. So he says, in that action, when you are doing it with the yajnartham, if there be any flaw, because you know that has happened, which is not in your control, leave it. Muchante, sarva kilbishahi. From that, if there is anything, you will be freed, because really it is not in your control. Because you are part of another government, because your actions is maybe certainly has an influence from another person who has to do, because it's all a teamwork. The whole world is a teamwork. So you cannot control the team. It's a bigger team which is controlling. So don't worry about it. Your neighbor may not do the right thing. What to do? So, so why I'm doing so much, but then there is no good thing happening in my neighboring means, who knows, maybe the team. So, that's what Krishna says, Sarva Kilbishahi Muchante, you shall be freed, because every action, there are some fault lines. So this is one again to do, as we are doing the Karma Yoga, if you are not able to do it to perfection, oh Krishna, why did it happen? Maybe I didn't think of it. Don't blame yourself. Don't have any guilt feeling. That's what Krishna says. Devoid of this guilt feeling or this kind of a unnecessary attachment into, because why Krishna is telling all those things also, because Arjuna has to take the sword and fight. In that there is going to be some collateral damage. Maybe he's going to kill his guru, and then that is also, we may think it as a papa. So with that also in mind, Krishna is telling him, look, this action, because you are really in the midst, and it's really applicable to Arjuna, because he's in the midst of the war field, and he is going to think that as a papa, because guru he may have to kill, his own relative he have to kill. So he says, look, that's not sarva kilbishahi muchante. And number 6, kilbishahi muchante, ye is here, yaha. Yaha, ye papaha, sorry, ye papaha, atmakaranat pachanti, ye pachanti, ye papaha atmakaranat pachanti, te tu agam bunchate. Meaning to say, here pachanti is only an action. Cooking is one action. So what he's saying here indirectly is atmakaranat pachanti te tu agam bunchate. Agam is papam. Ye papaha. Meaning to say, again, this papaha is referring to the stena in the previous one, the thieves. The thieves in the previous one, he said, right, without offering any yajna, and then they are consuming. Those consumers, ye papaha, those papaha, atmakaranat pachante. Pachanti, meaning to say they think that I'm cooking and eating all these things, or I'm doing all these things for my pleasure. What is there? The world is for my consumption, my pleasure. Who is to stop me? That kind of a person, Atmakaranat Pachanti ye papaha, tu in the tu, but agam te agam bunchate. Those people are really consuming papam. Agam, meaning to say that they have to give both with lot of interest and everything, and they have to give it back, that they are not going to go scot-free. That's what indirectly Krishna is saying. Bunchate, they are actually eating that to become a food again for somebody else. So that's what things they, and that's what he's saying. So with that, we will finish this one, because I wanted to finish this next sequence is all the ecosystem. Again, he will chant from next class. Okay. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Karma Yogo Nama Tritiyo Dhyayah Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Same thing in our study now, as we are doing now, this Sunday afternoon, you could be doing so many other things. But all that you are doing is for a moksha karanam, seeing that Krishna in all these things, that itself is a karma yajna. Yagyam, why you are doing all these things, isn't it? This particular one. Otherwise, we could be consuming something else in the Sunday afternoon. This itself is a karma yoga. So, we do this. Only thing we have to see in this, that, okay, this is applicable to what I'm doing. Okay. You got to pat ourselves. Okay, we are. Om Tat Sat. Okay, I'll actually. Okay, finished. Can you say the Gita Mahatmyanji? I'll also chant here. अतः गीता माहात्म्यं धरोवाच भगवन्
परमहंसः भक्तिरुद्यतिचारिणी